Harihi Om. Shuddha Spadiga Sankasham Shuddha Vidya Pradayakam Shuddham Purnam Chidanandam Sadashivamaham Shraye Shankarupena Machittam Pankikritam Abhodhyaya Kim Kariyasya Samaya Shankaracharya Mashraye Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Bharathi Karuna Patram Bharathi Padabhushanam Bharathi Padamarudham Bharathi Tirthamashraye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvabodha Vidushekara Bharatim Mala Sudha Kumbha Vibhoda Mudra Vidya Virajat Karavari Jatam Apara Karunya Sudhamburashim Sri Sharadambam Pranatosmi Nityam. Om. Today we will see the details of the sixfold inner discipline Shamadhi Shatka Sampattihi. The author has listed what are the sixfold disciplines which we saw in the last class. Shama, Dama, Uparadhi, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. These are the sixfold inner discipline. Now the details we will see. Shamakaha. Oh teacher, what do you mean by Shamaha? Teacher answers, Mano Nigraha, which is mind control. The word Shamaha literally means Shanti, Samatvam, peace of mind, a tranquil, poised mind. In the modern language, mind which is free from stress and strain, because these days people have a lot of stress and strain in day-to-day life itself. So a mind which is free from stress and strain, freedom from mental stress. Why do we say Manashanti is an important aspect? When the mind is tensed or anxious, we feel the mind is a burden for me. Ashantasya manobharaha. For a person who does not have peace of mind, the mind itself becomes bharaha. Mind becomes a burden for him. Because the mind becomes a burden, the whole life becomes dreadful, dragging for him. Not very interesting. That is why whenever people ask, how is your life? Generally people ask, how is your life? How do you do? Nobody will say, I am wonderful, life is very nice, I am happy. Nobody says. In every language we find there is some word which is equivalent of saying, it is okay. For example, in Tamil, oh point irukku, we will say. In Hindi they say, chalta hai, chalti ka naam gaadi. All those things we will say. In English, people say pulling on, going on, like that. So when life is dragging, it is a dreadful life because the mind is burdened with a lot of anxiety and worries. Therefore, the very journey of life becomes burdensome. Whereas when the mind enjoys a tranquility, peace of mind, freedom from stress and strain, the mind is very light. A lighter mind is easy to handle. The journey itself becomes enjoyable and happy. A light mind alone can be used as an instrument for accomplishing our goals, be it material goal, be it spiritual goal. A lighter mind is very important instrument to achieve. The uniqueness of the human body, human being, is an extraordinary mind. Only human beings are bestowed with a fantastic faculty called intellect, buddhi or manas, mind, which is a wonderful instrument in itself for accomplishing any type of goals, whether material or spiritual. All achievements are possible only because of the intellect. Therefore, the mind has to be light. People say you travel light. Even for traveling, if you carry lesser baggage, the journey becomes easy. Even for normal traveling, it is better to carry with a lighter weight. What do we say about mind and our whole life journey? So it is very important to keep our mind as light as possible. Shastra calls the mind as antahkaranam. Karanam means instrument, antaha means inner or internal. Therefore, antahkaranam means inner instrument, internal instrument. Mind is internal instrument. Only a light mind can be carried by me easily, and it can be used by me as an instrument. If an instrument has to be used effectively, it has to be light. In those days, I was wondering how Bhima, Duryodhana and all those people were fighting with Gadayudham. That will be very heavy. Which means the people who were using those instruments would have been much stronger and much healthier, so that they feel so light even to handle Gadai. It is like paper for them. Such strong people they were. So definitely only when the instrument is light, it is easy to handle. If one has to use the mind as an effective instrument, it has to be light. Only a peaceful mind will be a light mind. Manashantihi is very important, very essential for the very survival itself. What to talk of attaining spiritual goal? It is required for physical health also. Manashanti is very important for physical health, not only for mental peace but also for physical health. A person who has a constant stress in his mind throughout, definitely he will have physical complications. A good physical health requires a stress-free mind. Not only that, even our emotional quotient, which is balance of mind, can be utilized, will be very good only when the mind is peaceful. All our intelligence, all our knowledge can be used effectively if you have a balanced mind. That is very good emotional quotient. If you have a good emotional quotient EQ, your intelligence can be used effectively. IQ to be used effectively, your EQ must be very good. EQ is nothing but emotional quotient, which is nothing but a balanced mind. Otherwise, if your mind is not peaceful, if it is not poised, when the mind is disturbed, however educated you are, however rational you are, all the knowledge will not be of use to you, will not be available to you when you really want. It is similar to a computer which is affected by virus. A virus is the short form of vital information resource under siege, or the vital information is blocked, is obstructed. Even though the computer may have lot of information, data, all those, but if it is infected by virus, all those information cannot be accessed. Similarly, all your qualifications, studies, knowledge, IQ, etc., they will all be useless when the mind is disturbed. That is why we say EQ is important to tap the IQ. Therefore, peace of mind is very much required for physical health, for intellectual health, and also for spiritual journey. Therefore, Shamaha is one of the very, very important qualifications. Krishna also tells this in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Shanti alone can give one happiness, which is nothing but stress management. learn to earn a poised mind. In Tattvabodha, the author does not tell us, does not teach how to earn this poised mind. He doesn't teach us the technique. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches a lot, very detailed, of how to earn shamaha, damaha, all those qualifications. Krishna tells that. So we have to go through Bhagavad Gita very detailed manner from a person who has really understood Bhagavad Gita. So it means you can also understand. Then the second most discipline, inner discipline, is damaha. Damaha kaha. What is damaha? Then the teacher answers, chakshuradi bahyendriya nigraha. That is control or mastery over indriyams, sense organs. What type of indriyams? Bahyendriyams, that is external instruments. Why do we say external sense organs now? In the previous qualification, we saw shamaha is mind control. Mind is antahkaranam, inner instrument we saw. Therefore, the other 5 sense organs, that is jnanendriyams, are considered as external sense organs. What are the external sense organs? Eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin. All these 5 jnanendriyams are external sense organs. That's what the author says, chakshuradihi. Chakshuhu means eyes, adihi means etc. Nigraha means control or management of all these instruments. Very carefully we must note, control does not mean suppression. Our scriptures do not prescribe, do not recommend suppression at all. Any form of suppression is dangerous because it will explode later. Then what do you mean by control? It is intelligently directing or channelizing all our sensory energy is called control. I don't allow my sense organs to go where they want. I want them to go where I want. I have to decide where my sense organs should go. That is the control. It is like damming the rivers. You know, dams are built across rivers. The purpose of constructing dams is twofold. One is to store the excess water which will otherwise be flowing into ocean. And the second purpose is to make use of the stored water for our purposes, for our usage effectively. Like for example, drinking water, it can be used for irrigation purposes and also for generating electricity and all this etc. A lot of other benefits also can be derived from storing the excess water by constructing the dam. Similarly, human beings are bestowed with a lot of energy. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, that is power to think, power to know, power to do. All these are powers. This Shakti, if they are not properly controlled and channelized, they all go wasteful, they will all be wasted because we don't know where they should be channelized. Everywhere it will go and it's all waste. Therefore, not allowing the sensory energy to go anywhere they want is very important. For example, when you are attending this class, you want your ears to be here. If your sense organs are not under your control, you may be here, but you will not hear. That is, you will not be concentrating with your mind. Therefore, if you have proper indriya nigraham, if you have proper control over your sense organs, you will be here and you will be able to hear properly. That is the indication. But what generally happens is our sense organs are in different place. They always go anywhere but not where I want them to go. This is general phenomenon of sense organs. So we have to struggle to bring them under control, to make them go where I want them to go. The author says, Chakshuradi Bahendriya Nigraha. Proper direction or channelizing of these sense organs is very important. Why do we say so? There are several reasons. One reason is our mental condition is very much dependent on the sense organs. Because sense organs alone decide which part of the world should enter the mind. Since sense organs are the gateways or the doors, they are open and decide which sound, which smell, which object should enter, which form should enter my mind. If sense organs are not properly managed, anything and everything will start going into the mind and our mind will get polluted. We will have a lot of security problems, that is, internal security problems will be there. So for generally what government and other organizations do, if they don't want unruly elements, antisocial elements from entering a huge public gathering or meeting, what they do, they install lot of metal detectors at various places. So they check, they screen different people, all people, whether they carry any weapons, whether they are good or not. All those checking they do. So the security guards, metal detectors check the entry of visitors. They prevent terrorists or militants from entering the venue. Similarly, if we don't want the world as such enter our mind and pollute, we must have control and check at different places. And these are the 5 sense organs through which the world enter the mind. Therefore, we must exercise appropriate controls and balance them properly. Otherwise, everything will get entered into the mind and mind will get spoiled. Then once the mind gets polluted, it becomes much more difficult to clean. Prevention is better than cleaning or curing. Therefore, in order not to have internal law and order problem, I don't allow such things to enter the mind. We can say no admission without permission. Trespassing will not be allowed. This is called damaha. Sensory control required for mental health as well as for the spiritual pursuit. Therefore, damaha is important. Once again, author does not tell how to achieve this damaha. Bhagavan Krishna has told, we can learn Bhagavad Gita. Then the third important qualification is uparamaha. Uparadhi or uparamaha. Uparamaha kaha. What do you mean by uparama? What is the meaning of uparama? For which the Guru answers, Swadharma Anushtanameva. This is very important. Swadharma Anushtanameva. This word uparama has several meanings. One meaning is maintaining the peace of mind which has been acquired through shamaha. That is, not allowing the mind from getting disturbed. Preventing the calm mind from further disturbance is called uparamaha. This is one of the meanings. Shamaha means calming the already disturbed mind. Because the mind's nature is to go here and there. It will always be disturbed, it will be agitated, it will not be in a balanced position all the time. We have to exert a lot of efforts. We have to try. It is not that simple. So with lot of difficulties, we have calmed the mind. That is called shamaha. And then what happens? Once again the mind starts going outwards, starts going elsewhere without our controls. Therefore we have to exert more controls, uparamaha. So we don't allow further disturbance to the mind, preventing disturbance. So shamaha can be compared as treatment of disease after it has come. Uparamaha can be compared with preventing the disease, not allowing the disease to come. You may have noticed, small children between 2 years, 3 years old, they'll be very active. So if the mother is attending a puja or public function or something like that, some gathering, she would have exerted a lot of energy, and she would have calmed her child and puts him in her lap. The child, what does he do? For some time, for 1 moment, 1 minute, 2 minutes, it will be quiet. Immediately it will start going here and there. So the mother immediately gives some toy, something to make the child once again calm and sit in her lap. So this is Uparamaha. First meaning of Uparama is calming the mind, preventing further disturbance. The second meaning is Sannyasa Ashrama, monastic life. The third important meaning is what the author says here, Swadharma Anushtanameva. What do you mean by Swadharma Anushtanam? It is a bit technical word. We will see briefly. In our scriptures, all our actions are divided into 5 categories, 5 types. So whatever action we do, it can be categorized into one of these 5 types of activities. What are the activities talked about in scriptures? First is Nitya Karma. Second is Naimittika Karma. The third activity is Kamya Karma. Fourth one is Prayaschitta Karma. And the last one is Nishiddha Karma. These are the 5 activities talked about in scriptures. So all the activities can be grouped in one of these 5. Out of these 5 types of karmas or activities, we have to eliminate 3 karmas to the extent possible and retain 2 types of karmas throughout. What are the karmas to be retained? Nitya and Naimittika karma are to be retained. That is Swadharma Anushtanam. Whereas Kamya karma, Prayaschitta karma are to be reduced, and Nishiddha karma should be avoided right from the beginning, should be dispensed with immediately. Therefore, Nitya karma and Naimittika karma are Swadharmam. This is what the author says. The details of which all these karmas we will see in the next class. I will conclude the class with this. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.